cuz. But I still low. Got 100 different to my cell phone. Still 33 for low. I'ma ride to my dog sitting in jail. He stay lighter on the grass, bend it back, roll. I'm on Keller, I'm on Gresham, I'm on Flat Shore. I'm at Magic, I'm at Bally's, let them go. Then it's right back to the when I'm low.
We are just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome as we come to you from FedEx Field here in Landover. Today, we reach Week 15, and we've got a good matchup in store between the Arizona Cardinals and the Washington Redskins. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
They run again with Ajayi. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him 2 yards that time, and it's going to leave him with a 3rd and 11 situation. Fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Now, that result is no surprise. This team is bringing back memories of what? The 85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens. Those teams were so great against the run, they made you abandon any plans of doing that when you played against them.
And he'll go ahead and field this at the 5. Nifty move. Oh, I nearly broke that one. As it stands, though, a heck of a 36-yard run back. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. So 2nd and 9, the defense looking to put them in a bad spot here.
Back to Detroit! Gone! Back's gone! Detroit!
Now back to throw. It's George Kittle, the rookie tight end with it. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 15 yards through the air and a 1st down.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And down to the 36-yard line here. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
That run right there was an offensive line coach's dream, wasn't it? Guys picked up all of their assignments, created a nice gap for the running back to get through, pick up 7 yards. Yeah, he's probably chortling on the headset right now saying, we got it going, boys. Let's keep it going.
And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll try to run for the first with Henry. And not going to be able to push this forward. He runs into a wall right at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game.
I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. You add in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
Here's Foles. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. Here's Ajayi. Some tough running, but it only gets him to the 45. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave him with a 3rd down and 6 to go. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Cardinal offense coming back out. Let's give you a look at the playoff race. Now, this is into the weekend in the NFC. Well, we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position number 1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
A 1st down carry for Henry. And he's going to get this one down to the 45. The numbers on the ground for Henry last week. 16 carries, 117 yards.
And give him a ton of credit. He's running the ball really well. But I look at those guys up front. That unit is truly playing as just that. Every move that they make, their teammate understands what that move means and what they need to do. And right now, they're starting to grind it out pretty well.
On play action, they'll throw. Steps away to his left. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
Yeah, not much there that time, and I think we were both wondering once he got out of the box whether he just throw the ball away, and he winds up only picking up a yard or 2.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert, but right now looking at a 3rd and 3. And he will find his man on the outside. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. That'll be out of bounds, and how good was that? They'll say the 3-yard line. That's where they spot him. A look at Washington as they come onto the field as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you. On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
The former Bill, Chris Hogan, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. This is Ajayi, and he is going to have the first down as he's up to his own 13-yard line. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep going.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point you've got to win at the point of attack, and on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
Now it's Ajayi, and he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there and swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain. It's a pickup of 6, but it's not going to be enough. And the punt team's going to be summoned on 4th down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that any time you hand the ball to a back.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And the Cardinals, great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. So out now come the Cardinals. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy? Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down. That fits the bill.
Now a handoff here to his running back. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the 1st down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Well, how many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Every now and then when we see a really good run, we really tend to focus on what other people did in order for that run to happen. What the offensive line did, what the receivers did to help. Sometimes the running back's pretty good too. And on that play, he picked up a lot of good yardage and made it happen with great effort.
And incomplete, he dropped it in the end zone.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
All right, here we go. Detroit! Detroit! Leopard! Leopard!
He'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cardinals. George Kittle hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Cardinals are in for 6. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to drop those types of plays, because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. But if you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. It worked out for 6. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. A good pickup there, 22. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
They run with Ajayi, and he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there, so from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Now Foles. And this is going to be incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And now a high kick here as they'll try to cover this one. And the Redskins scoop it.
I feel like you and I could be in our backyard with our dads right now. What did they always say when they were throwing us the ball? Look it all the way in. Make sure you secure it. That had the feeling of not happening there on that play, that he didn't have full control of the ball.
When that punch coming in, I didn't have a return punch, but I would imagine it's tough to monitor those guys coming full steam ahead at you.
It really is. You try and get that peek to know where they are, about whether you should fair catch it or not. But sometimes you just have to have a sense, a feeling, and just have to make sure, number one, though, you catch the ball and put it away.
Gonna give this time to the tailback. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from me a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Caught, Safarian Jenkins, right side. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
The throw left side, complete to Hogan. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Foles. And he finds Safarian Jenkins. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. So give them the yardage on the pass and half the distance to the goal line.
Because they're inside the 30, so now you don't march off the full 15, right? You have half the distance to the goal. In any event, that's precious real estate given up.
They'll try to run with a J. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Second and goal as the offense looks to try to punch it in. And he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. And before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They'll set up to throw. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
And Gano's kick is right through. And they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. Well, at least they won't take a goose egg into intermission, as they do carve out 3 points here in the waning moments of quarter number 2.
Yeah, it hasn't really been the greatest of first halves. They've looked out of sync, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But a field goal here at least gives them some momentum as we tick down toward halftime.
And the Cardinals getting set to trot out there now. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add.
He can't avoid the pressure. Redskins get there. Bernardrick McKinney coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. They'll look to throw here on first down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. That's to the right side, complete to Kittle. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. Out of the gun now on third down. He's going to float this one deep right side. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Darqueze Dennard. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. All right, hang on here. We'll jump over halftime. Just let the system and graphics catch up. Okay, all set. Third quarter now. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace, because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers that can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
And not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. Touchdown, Cardinals. George Kittle with touchdown number 2 in the game, and now 11 on the year. And the Cardinals now adding on to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
They go play action here on first down. And his throw here's incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. And he'll give it here to his running back. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. 34 yards there and a first down.
You know what's really hard for a big-time running back? Is patience. Being able to hang in there when the runs aren't there, when you're taking some hits early in the game. With this drive, he's come alive and in a big way. Now he's starting to gallop.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, second down.
No gain on that run, and while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, though, I've got to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down.
When the 4-3 defense is functioning really well, you know who stays what we call clean and no one gets to him? The guy playing the middle linebacker position, the guy we call Mike. That means the defensive front is eating up all the blocks and just let him go to the football and make a play.
And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's fourth down. Kick is right through. And they will cut the lead back down to a touchdown now at 13-6. A decent drive there to start the third quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they do inch a bit closer.
Yeah, still lots of time to go in this one. Take the points, move on, and let your defense try to get the ball back.
And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Henry. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to face a third down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Redskins scoop it. And he gets it back into the end zone. It's a fumble recovery leading to a Washington touchdown. So they were down by a touchdown, probably just hoping the defense could hold them, maybe force the punt. Instead, they forced the turnover and take it into the house.
Well, the plan was perfect. That's exactly what they wanted. Instead, they got a lot more than that. Big-time capitalization by taking the ball away and putting it in the end zone.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your pro? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff.
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time. Really,
touchdown, Cardinals! A big play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Cardinals have taken the lead. Gonzalez now to add the extra point. So the quarterback drops to throw, looks over, and boom, a guy that wide open, he has to be thinking, wait a minute, this is some kind of a dream. This is too easy.
Yeah, a great dream. One you don't want to wake up from. But for the defense, almost feels like there was a bust in coverage.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it. Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? Second and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected. Back now at FedEx Field. It's the Redskins with the football, but trailing here as we get down to the good stuff. Quarter number 4. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
He was trying to get it to Jay Ajayi there out of the backfield. And it's third down. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
They'll look to throw. And that's incomplete.
But plain and simple, that's the second time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
And this will be taken at the 13. They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. As they run the counter play. And a big collision there as he winds up flat on his back. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Looking to throw. Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
This will be fielded at the 17. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
They'll look to throw here. Trying to lay one up deep. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. The Redskins on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd and 9. They'll set up a throw. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. They begin with Henry. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's third down.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up fourth down. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling could lead to no yards gained.
Jay Ajayi works his way back onto the field. So at the start of this game, it looked like the defense was wearing him down a little bit. Now you look at the numbers, that's kind of flipped.
Yeah, I agree with you totally, and his offensive line has really started to play well. And the best offensive line coaches that I've ever talked to, when they have great runners, you know what they tell their guys? Relax, you don't have to be perfect. Get as many guys as you can, but if you leave one free, the great runner will either make him miss or go through him. So don't worry about that. You don't have to be so precise. Just go ahead, block some people, try and create some room, and allow him to go to work.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Over the middle, that's caught by Hogan. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one goes for 24 yards.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll be a second down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. They face a critical third down now, needing a score here in the late going. Back to throw. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up fourth down. Figuring they're going for it on fourth down. Remember, though, they do have all 3 timeouts, so even if they don't get it, all is not lost.
Yeah, normally in this situation, when you're talking about having to go for it, everything is in this play. But as you noted, with those 3 timeouts, they actually have a little bit of a safety net.
And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. First down now, but that clock rolling. They'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Yannick Ngakoue in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. He'll look to throw. He hits Beasley right side. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Never make the mistake that these slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Back to throw. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Cardinals have got it, going the other way. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And they were hoping to get down there, get the score, and get this thing into overtime. How deflating.
Absolutely. I mean, let's face it, heartbreaking. They had an opportunity, had a chance, and probably were feeling pretty good about what was going on, and that was taken away from them by their own mistake.
Yeah, the opportunity squashed. Again, it's Henry. And he'll get this one across the 20, but only up to about the 21. The Cardinals on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. The Redskins looking for another timeout, and they get it. That'll be their second, so one more chance to stop the clock here, and we'll be back. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. 10th carry now for Derrick Henry. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. On 2nd down, here's Henry. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Only a yard on the pickup, so from a good situation on 2nd and 2, it's now 3rd and 1.
Short gain, last 2 plays. Who do you think's excited about that?
Absolutely, this defense, they're saying go right ahead with those. On 3rd down, Henry looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
They tried their best to pick up that 3rd and 1, but their surge wasn't enough to counteract what came back at them from the defensive side, was it?
Offensive line, especially in the middle, looked like they were on skates a little bit when that one started.
So now we bring up 4th and inches. This would be a critical call.
They are in the 4th and Buffalo, and it's the Dolphins that wound up winning that one. Tyrod Taylor,